Welcome back to the house that Allen built. I am Scott Kinmartin. With me, as always,
Greg Vollmer.
and today we're going to discuss the incredible win the Buffalo Bills had over the Kansas City Chiefs, 24-20.
Bills Mafia, we missed you. I hope you had an awesome post-win week after the Chiefs game. Sorry it took us so long to do a recap, but better late than never, Scott. We had some family obligations. In fact, these celebratory stogies that we're having right now in honor of us beating the Chiefs in Arrowhead, I was supposed to smoke these with my brother. My brother Darren and his wife Piper came to visit me in Portland, spent the week together, had a good time. We were going to smoke these, ended up not getting to it, so what better way to do it than celebrate on our podcast?
Yep. The number one team in the AFC, Buffalo Bills.
As you can see, I got my Steve Tasker jersey, channeling my inner Steve Tasker. You've got your new Bills
baseball jersey. Yeah, it's Josh Allen.
Yes, sir.
Who led the Bills.
Real quick, Chiefs fans, hey, we may see you again in January in Buffalo. Just bundle up. It might be chilly.
All right, well, Josh Allen outdueled Patrick Mahomes, but what a shootout. I mean, it was a battle of the defenses, but really, Josh Allen and Mahomes both threw 40 passes. Allen completed 2 more with 27, and Mahomes 25. They both broke 300 yards. Allen had 329, Mahomes had 338. The difference is, Allen, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Mahomes, 2 touchdowns and 2 costly picks, 1 to seal the game for the Bills.
You know, Tony Romo always seems to have something memorable that he says. Not only did he predict the score in the first quarter, he goes, this sounds like about a 24-20 type of game. Maybe Josh Allen's going to have to check it down a lot. It's going to be some dinking and dunking. And
you give what the defense gives you.
Yeah, and then he called it. He goes, well, this is a pretty fitting sequel, you know, even though it wasn't as high-powered and crazy scoring left and right, back and forth like we got last year in the divisional round. It was definitely, I would say, a suitable sequel in the regular season. Last year, it was more of a comfortable win by the Bills. This year was definitely more of a nail-biter.
True.
Exciting
yeah, it was 38-20 last year and 24-20 this time, but a different kind of win.
Yeah, we got to see it at the Cheerful Bullpen, the Bills Backer Bar in the Goose Hollow, and got to watch it with my brother and sister-in-law, Darren and Piper, who were in town visiting. And then Jake and Sam, our friends, they also came to help support the Bills. They're not Bills fans in general, but they support the Bills because their friends support the Bills.
There was a point where you're doing the Goose Rabba, and I have you, I filmed you because it was so close.
Chris Jones, it was after I lost my on the no-call Chris Jones tripping Allen. And
Allen
I was
lost his too.
And then I had to settle myself down.
It was a nail-biter. I mean, it was a one-possession, one-score game the entire game. It just kept going 3-0, 7-3, 10-10, and then it was 17-17. Right before the half, it reminded me of last year's playoff game. We had 16 seconds on the clock. We squib kick it, a short squib kick, and then that gives them good field position with 16 seconds, right? And then they had 12 seconds because it knocked off 4 seconds from the clock. And then with 12 seconds, Mahomes throws the ball once and then throws the ball twice, completes both of them. They get down, call the timeout. Again, it was Kelsey who caught the one pass. And then 62-yarder for Harrison Butker.
He drilled it. It would have been good for him 72 plus.
Oh, yeah. And he just came back from IR after 4 weeks being out since week 1.
Very rarely do you see a 62-yarder and the ball hits the netting.
Yeah.
I mean,
his
a
career long
kick.
was only 58. Well, I say only because that's crazy.
And again, Tony Romo, his memorable things that he says during a broadcast, he mentioned the whole 13 seconds as they were squibbing it. He even said he alluded to something like they remembered. Now they're gonna do what they wanted to do last time or maybe should have done. And funny enough, though, we squibbed it, but it wasn't the best squib by Bass. It didn't dribble deep enough, and therefore, even though it took 4 seconds off the clock.
They had 12.
They got better field position because it didn't go deep enough. Yeah. And then just to allude to what you were saying, so this is what caught me in that first half, kind of just I thought was very interesting. You had Buffalo 3, Kansas City 7 with 1:16 to go in the half. And then again, just kind of like last year, where it was like these teams can score at will. You get Allen, who leads a pivotal, 98-yard drive,
Yep.
to take the lead 10-7, and then like you just talked about, then 12 seconds is all it took for the Chiefs to tie it up. And
It was so reminiscent of last
one
year.
second less, and they were still able to get in the field goal range. It's infuriating if you're a Bills fan, but it just goes to show how little separates both these sides.
Yeah.
They're both the elite of not only the AFC, but many could argue they're the elite of the NFL.
Yeah.
Watching those two teams play on Sunday is different than watching about 80% of the NFL.
Like they said, if 18 weeks out of the year it was the Chiefs versus the Bills, and it was like home away, I think it might split right down the middle. Although the Bills got the upper hand again during the regular season, what's going to matter is this sixth matchup that they are destined for in the playoffs.
And then real quick, so our predictions going into this game, I predicted the Bills were going to win 31-24.
I projected 33-30 and the outcome 24-20. I mean, it hit the under again, but the 2.5-point favorite for the Bills at Arrowhead was crazy. Everyone's like, oh, they made a big stink about it. And then we won by 4.
And all that matters in our predictions is that we won. And
Yep.
To that, we're going to do a toast.
I'll see if I can do it the way I did it in college.
Hey, damn. Oh, God. That was good. I can't do it. Wait, I got to
Oh,
try that.
I didn't even cheers you yet.
No.
You got it!
All right.
Good job!
Hey, we're drinking some Line and Kugel's Oktoberfest. Shout out to Line and Kugel's.
Yeah.
Oktoberfest. I love that October beer.
And it's in a Bud Light koozie.
And a Bud Light koozie. Cheers, man. Cheers to Victory Week. To Bills Mafia, it's a late Victory Week cheers, but better late than never. I know y'all are still riding high after that beautiful, beautiful win that could have big implications for who holds the number 1 seed. We knew we needed to win to have a chance, and that's all you can ever ask for is a chance. Now we have a decent chance, if we keep on playing well, to get the number 1 seed and have that pivotal road to the Super Bowl lead through Western New York.
We're the only team with only 1 loss right now. And
you got the undefeated Eagles.
Yeah, then the NFC, for sure. As far as the run game goes, I started comparing Singletary and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who this week, after the Bills game, they were going to start Isaiah Pacheco. And they did. He got the first snap. But really, Clyde ended up having more carries after that. So,
which was from a fantasy standpoint, real quick, not to digress too much on a fantasy, but was surprising to most fantasy owners because Clyde Edwards-Helaire has been he's been producing.
Yeah.
It's not like he hasn't been horrible, and then all of a sudden they kind of switched it, and they're like, yeah, Pacheco's going to get the start. People that had Pacheco and maybe didn't have CEH. They're freaking out. They're like, I told you, this is why we stashed him.
You picked him up, and then you dropped him after you realized he was useless.
But he didn't necessarily do amazing with his chance, but it was weird that they decided to start him.
Yeah. I mean, he runs hard, and he's strong. When he gets the ball in his hand, he's good, but he was out-carried again.
He definitely has potential to be an RB1 down the line, but yeah, I guess it's going to be for now just kind of a committee with Clyde still.
Which is funny that they were getting all the rumors. It was like CMC, right? Christian McCaffrey. Everyone was talking about the Bills were the favorite to land him. And then it was, the Rams were interested too, and so were the Niners, and maybe the Chiefs are. The Chiefs they have 2 solid backs that they've drafted early, just like the Bills with Singletary, Moss, and Cook. So Moss is kind of an afterthought at this point, but Cook got a couple carries. And Singletary by far looked the best. He had 17 rushes, 85 yards.
Motor up. What's your price for flight? Dude, motor, man. He's
5 yards
consistently good.
Yeah. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's doing everything he possibly can. He kept the chains moving, and I thought they looked good. I mean, Edwards-Helaire had 9 rushes for 33 yards. When you look at tight ends, Dawson Knox got in the end zone. It was a tribute to his late brother. That was a really good way to steal the game. But he had 3 for 37. And
what a beautiful read, too. Not only... So, Allen...
He was pointing for him to come back in.
Because it was wide open.
But Knox went back out and
had his back turned to Allen.
Yep.
And then Allen's dissecting it, the video you sent me, where he's just explaining his thought process that's done in a matter of seconds with grown professional athletes coming towards you.
Yep.
And he makes a read and realizes that Knox has his back to the has his back to Allen, and then he delivers. He even knew that he had to put a little arc on it and rainbow it, and it barely went over a defender and right to where Knox ended up on the end on the side of the end zone.
If you remember, last year he lost a little bit of that touch pass. He was kind of putting too much zip on it, and he was missing on the timing routes. I mean, he threw to Diggs and Davis wide open on the right corner, almost identical plays, like 30-yard touchdowns. He's just the difference. He's the difference here. When you look at Mahomes and Allen, you can almost cancel them out. Now, Allen had 12 carries, and he only ended up with like 32 yards, which is only 2.7 yards per carry.
But yeah, for him, that's an average running day.
But, I mean, Mahomes had what, 4 rushes for 21 yards. Now, that's not significant, but he got a first down. Yeah,
good to see that Allen ended up having that stat line.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, but 12 rushes.
Yeah.
Still a lot. But he moves the chains. That's the crazy thing when you're watching this game. You see 3rd and 13, 3rd and 17, 3rd and 7. Both teams, they convert on 3rd down. And the Bills' 3rd down defense was really good until that game. Just in general, it was just a crazy game.
It was watching, once again, one thing I think you're guaranteed anytime you watch the Bills and Chiefs play going now and going forward, you're watching 2 magicians at the QB position. Yeah. Because Allen had some crazy plays where he did a 360 or he did a 180 out of the pocket.
Mahomes did it too.
Did a little fake and was able to either buy time to pass or buy time to fake a pass and run for a first down or run for yards like you were talking about. And then Mahomes, same thing. Mahomes, I mean, he will stand in the pocket and then loop around and do some spins and somehow it's like
he's looking to throw where Allen's looking to run through you if no one's open. Where Mahomes will get out or get down.
They're both amazing though at extending plays and they're both so lethal throwing or running that I mean then they're waiting for routes to develop and it's a beautiful thing to watch. I have to give kudos to Mahomes. I'm so happy that we have Allen and it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch those two play.
To extend the play like that, I think it was Shopin the Bulldog and Sal Capaccio talking about how the top 5 teams in the league right now, record-wise, you look at their quarterback, right? Josh Allen, mobile. Mahomes, mobile. Hurts, mobile. Even Herbert can move. He doesn't do it a lot, but he can move.
Yeah.
Then you've got other guys. I mean, they're just...
Yeah, Burrow is a little bit more of the traditional stand in the pocket, but if he needs to, he can move.
It's not like he's Peyton Manning where he can't move at all. Or I thought he looked good. And as you know, the one guy who's pretty much uncoverable is Kelsey.
Yes, he is uncoverable because even though he didn't get a touchdown, which is good.
Over 100 yards.
He still manages to. He's just so good. He's the best tight end in football right now, and I don't even think it's close.
It's not.
You could maybe say Waller would be up there, but Waller hasn't been able to stay healthy.
But he can't either.
Kittle doesn't look quite the same, and he's not. He's he doesn't have as good of a quarterback right now.
No.
I mean, Garoppolo is a winner,
but he's not Mahomes.
He's not Mahomes. But Mahomes and Kelsey, they're like a combination as good as peanut butter and jelly. They're.
Yeah.
So it's tough. It's infuriating when you're going against him because you know that if you don't contain him, and we contained him in that we left him out of the end zone.
Yeah.
But he still is just like the master at getting open when they need it.
108 yards, no touchdowns, I'll take it. Where the prior week he had only 25 yards, but 4 touchdowns. So at least we held him out of the end zone.
And it goes to show chemistry. Kelsey and Mahomes have chemistry, and I do think that there's a chemistry that's already been built, and it continues to get better between Allen and Knox.
Oh, for sure.
On and off the field, you can just tell that they're very
Knox
close.
Knox is banged up too. He's
still
had an ankle
right,
and a knee issue.
Finally right.
Yeah, much better. I mean, he took a good hit on that touchdown, and even first down that he caught the ball.
He got up slow,
Yeah, he got whacked.
You could read one of the coaches on the sideline, one of the positional coaches, I think it was. He just goes, "Are you all right?" Because he got up slow, and then he goes, still did the first down.
You know that he was in the ice bath.
Yeah.
After the game. Holy cow. Okay, so now wide receivers. We mentioned in the pregame show that it was going to be Diggs and Davis versus Juju and probably Hardman or Valdez-Scantling, and it was Diggs, 10 catches on 13 targets, 148 yards and a touchdown. Davis, 3 of 6, so he's capitalizing on the big ball again, 74 yards, touchdown.
Yep.
And then for them, Juju, who looked washed up last week or the week prior.
He was a yak monster.
113, yeah.
Yards after catch, killed us there in a few.
Yeah, that big long touchdown that he broke away. He actually broke a tackle on, I want to say it was Taron Johnson. He spun around, and there were 3 of our guys right there. That's one thing that worries me. We started out the first 3 games and only had 3 breaking or tackles we missed per game. 3, 4, 3, something like that. It's up to like 9, 12 missed tackles. So we got to fix that. We got to fix it.
You'll go through ebbs and flows. Yeah. I think it just goes to show how crazy good the coaching has been and following into the system and players that were not intended to start, with the injuries we had. it just goes to show that, I mean, they're all bought in. And, I mean, just to be as playing as solid as we have, and we're not even at our healthiest yet. Like you said, we're not, we're about to get Trey White back. It just goes to show kudos to the whole coaching staff and the players for buying in. And, as a Belichick would say, do your job,
Yeah. 111th.
People are doing their job.
111th.
111th, yeah.
So other than Juju, I mean, Hardman had 3 catches for 42 and a touchdown. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
He was flashy. You grabbed him, and then the next week, which we're going to talk about next week, for you guys, it's later on this week. He flashed and had 3 touchdowns. So Hardman, and I drafted him in fantasy, and I cut him because I needed to fill that roster spot with someone that was more productive at the time.
Everyone other than Kelsey has been hard to figure out for fantasy purpose on the Chiefs.
Yep, that's true. So the Bills' offense, this is where they're at after that game, right?
Yep, after the Chiefs game.
As we are with the Chiefs game this past week, where the Bills were on the bye, second in points for the Bills. Chiefs are first in points. First in total yards for us, second in total yards for the Chiefs. First in passing for us, second in passing for them. 16th in rushing for us, 21st for them. So we're pretty much even. And our defense, obviously, I take our defense over theirs any day. But they have our number. They know how to at least contain Allen enough to keep it within a 1-score game where we're blown out. The Steelers 38-3 and Rams and Titans. And
real quick, something I noticed when I was rewatching the film from the Bills-Chiefs game that just stood out to me. Okay, we had the opening drive in the red zone.
Oh, I know.
Should have been at least 3. Most likely could have been 6. Get the fumble with McKenzie, right?
Yep.
Miscommunication there.
It was supposed to be like a college option pitch,
Then I think it was 2, I believe, at least 2 fourth down conversions. In the entire game, it was 2 or 3 fourth down conversions, one of which
we were at the 40-something.
So we were in the red zone twice, no points.
Yeah.
Think about that. We win
Penalties.
by 4. And then we had 2 chances to score in the red zone, both ending in either a turnover or turnover on downs. And then there was another, the 4th and 3, that was like either before or after midfield.
Yeah.
And then we didn't get that one. That was where Allen kind of, he was rushed. And then
threw it out to the left.
So think about
and
that.
and
I think if anything, Bills Mafia, this is something to be very happy about. Even though, look, in the playoffs, stuff like that, you want to clean up. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? You want to clean that up because when you're playing someone... Jesus, I'm spitting all over the place. When you're playing someone as good and elite as the Chiefs and elite coached, that could be the difference in advancing. And I mean, and so
it's huge.
It's just, but it's good to know that Allen has a short memory. He can shake it off mentally. The whole team can shake things off mentally. Whereas before, the old Bills, the old Bills of the 17-year drought, that would do them in. That would be.
They're mentally strong.
Yeah, this team reacts, and it's good to see. And it's I guess it makes me feel good that we still won by 4. Allen still put the team on his shoulders and went clutch mode and out-clutched Mahomes, who's crazy good. Yeah. And but despite 3 chances that really we left points on the table.
But so did they, because once again our defense, Kyer Elam for the second week in a row, interception. This one was in the end zone.
Let's give the rookie a round of applause, man. And it was huge. Like, that was huge momentum change there when he picked that off.
Yeah, I mean, that was a scoring drive. It was 4th down for them, so it was kind of a desperate throw. It's all or nothing. Mahomes throws it. He turned and basically pretty much took it from the receiver, just like the prior week where Davis took it from Fitzpatrick. And then to end the game, you had Von Miller pressuring Mahomes, who's rolling out to the right, and then you've got Milano shadowing him and coming up on him, and then he's forced to double pump because as Milano jumps up to kind of block the ball, he fakes and then throws it right to Taron Johnson, who jumped the route.
And it's beautiful. You'd bring up Milano. That's huge. Like, that's just smart football.
He had some really nice tackles again. He's definitely all-pro. All-pro.
Yeah.
Hands down. And I don't care if he's Pro Bowl or not, because we're going to go to the Super Bowl, right?
And he'll be forever loved by Bills Mafia, not just because he's a good player, but he took a hometown discount, which, you know what, you got to give kudos to any athlete. Look, get your money for sure.
If you want to win, you can get your money and win. Just take a little less to...
Yeah, it's admirable. He didn't have to do it, but it shows how much he loves his teammates, his coaches.
It goes back to Le'Veon Bell. Remember with the Steelers, he had something good. Him and Antonio Brown were lighting up under Big Ben and Tomlinson, who somehow was a miracle worker in that locker room with who we had. And they both left for more money and thought that they're bigger than the team. Look what happened. They fizzled out.
They have never been the same since.
Where are they now?
And no Roethlisberger.
Le'Veon Bell is boxing right now, okay? So it's just not the same. You gotta know. Like Kelsey, he may forever be a Chief, And I like him. I mean, he's been consistent 9 years in a row over 1,000 yards. Not looking for big money, even though he's making good money. He's a tight end. He could demand whatever he wants.
Well, and he's getting,
Somebody will pay it.
look, these athletes, they're getting smarter about things. They're getting smarter about their finances, I feel like.
I love that Buffalo's a destination.
Yeah. Yeah. And the ones that are smart, even if they do take a little discount, they know that the marketing's there. They're going to do some advertisements, whether it's locally, nationally. Like Kelsey, whether it's tight end university, I think Kittle, the whole tight end university and him doing marketing. And like these guys will get money elsewhere. Like the money will come. It doesn't have to, like you said, doesn't have to all be from their contract. So
yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's nice to see that the Chiefs and the Bills are once again 1-2. And the Bills got the upper hand again in the regular season. I hope we learned our lesson, which McDermott showed with the 16 seconds before halftime that squib. They have learned a little bit. Now, do they need to kick it a little further? Maybe yes, but those 4 seconds knocked off the clock may not have mattered when it was 13. Let's say it went down to 9. Maybe they would have ran out of time last year. But either way,
not only did they learn situationally, and you see it on the field by squibbing at that time, even though the results are questionable. They learned emotionally too. They don't want to feel that again.
Yeah.
And that was like, that was Von Miller giving it a little bit extra to try to sack Mahomes and Josh Allen giving a little bit extra to go ahead there on that what turned out to be the game-winning drive. But like they know the pain of what that felt like, and so that's how they learn too. They don't want to experience it again. So whatever it takes to not.
Yeah. So when we're comparing the Bills' defense against Kansas City's defense, the Bills were first in points against. After the game, they're still first in points. First in interceptions. After the game, they're still first in the league in interceptions. And that even counts all the way up to week 8. And then KC, 20th in points against, 27th in interceptions with only 1. And then now, after 7 weeks, KC is 25th in points against and 24th in interceptions with 3.
Yeah.
So clearly we have the better defense, but they did play us well.
And unfortunately, for Bills fans, Kansas City beat the 49ers pretty convincingly.
Yeah.
So we were all hoping, obviously, to get them another loss on the ledger, even though it was against the NFC. But they give it Chiefs credit. They're a real deal. It sucks to see from the Bills' perspective, but the Chiefs smoked the 49ers in San Francisco. They're obviously elite. I was just hoping that
first half, I'm like, holy cow, the Niners are going to take it to them. And then, of course, Mahomes does Mahomes things, throws for over 400 yards and lights them up. And that's a good defense. They got torched.
Yep. I did want to mention Reggie Gilliam, speaking of our offense still. Again, he continued to be a safety blanket for Allen. Yep. He showed soft hands. He fought for extra yards. Yep. Whether you need a pivotal first down or, the play breaks down and he's that last option, he's shown that he's a valuable asset.
Yeah, I mean, he's now touched the ball
offense.
3 out of 6 games. 3 games he's not touching it at all. And then I looked, he has no carries. They're all receptions, and he's really good. He's a former receiver.
You can tell.
Yeah, he's an H-back who can block. He can catch. I think he could still run too. I mean, he's just a good guy to have on your team. And even though there were 3 games where he didn't get the ball, this game he was 3 for 3, 18 yards. Nothing significant, but he moves the chains.
Yeah, it's not like how much he's doing. It's how he's doing it when he does it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really like him. And he was an undrafted guy. We had re-signed him for 2 years, I believe.
And then we'll talk about Von Miller quick, because why did we sign Von Miller especially for when we play the Chiefs, whether it's this game or if we see him again in the playoffs,
Those
which
2
seems
sacks.
to be inevitable. Yes, he gets 2 sacks. One, I think the most important one was the pocket. The offensive line for the Chiefs were containing our line. That Mahomes, it seemed like he had an eternity. He could have checked his iPhone, he could have checked his iWatch if he had one on, and checked his heart rate, for God's sakes, He had forever, and then it was just it's easy to like watch it and be like, man, the defensive line seems like they're stuck in mud, but it did seem like everyone was kind of stuck in place, and Mahomes was getting ready, and he scrambles out, and the only person that was able to keep up with the play was Vaughn, and he got him from behind and
good thing
ankle grabbed him.
You know what that made me think of? When Deshaun Watson in that first playoff game that we had, where we had him sacked and Milano ran into his own guy, and then Watson got around and threw the pass to, I want to say, Taiwan Jones, our Bill. It just reminded me of that, where if we had someone like Von Miller then, not saying Milano couldn't have made the tackle, it was just a freak play, but it would have been clutch and probably would have never gotten to the point where it's our linebackers needing to make the play. Here's another shout out that I want to give. Daquan Jones. Our run game defense is number 1 in the league for a big reason, and that's Daquan Jones. What he does is he stuffs up the middle, So I think our number one run defense has allowed 76 yards a game. That's insane.
Nuts.
So we're forcing teams to be one-dimensional because we throw the ball so much. They have to do it just to keep up. Because if they're running the ball, they're going to run out the clock, which they don't want when they're down by 2, 3, 4 scores when it's the Bills' offense, torching them. We're forcing other teams to play our game.
And if the Bills don't beat themselves in a game, I feel like there's only 2 or 3 other quarterbacks in this league right now that have proven that they can go toe-to-toe with Allen in that situation.
Yep. I mean, we are a complete team. We're number 1 on offense for total yards, number 2 overall, and number 1 on defense in so many categories. We're looking at first in points, first in total yards against, first in rushing yards against, 11th in passing yards against, which that's mostly because of the scrambling quarterbacks. We've played 2 of the top quarterbacks in the league so far. And then we've got seventh in sacks with 19, and that's with the bye week. And then we're first in interceptions with the bye week at 10. So we're getting our turnovers. We're bending but not breaking, and our offense is doing everything they need to do to get the ball down the field and score.
And on paper, it's looking like we already went through the gauntlet of our schedule.
We
on
have.
Paper, right? You can never predict anything. It is the NFL.
I know, we've got the Packers next.
Anyone can win on any given day. Yep. But looking at the schedule now, starting with the Packers on Sunday Night Football, it looks like the schedule is going to open up a little bit. And I think you've mentioned this before. I mean, we're going to be favored in almost every single game. Yeah. Maybe not against the Bengals on Monday night down the stretch. We're gonna be definitely favored against the Jets, even though the Jets are up and coming.
They're 5-2. They're second in the division.
We're gonna be favored against the Patriots. Yeah. We're gonna be favored when we host the Dolphins again.
Yeah. So I mean, our only loss was against the Dolphins, and then we've gone on a 3-game win streak where the Packers are on a 3-game losing streak. We've 4 out of our first 6 games were on the road. So we're finally at home hosting for Sunday Night Football, which we'll get into in our next video.
Yes,
the last thing I want to talk about was there were trade rumors for Christian McCaffrey, which we mentioned. He ended up going to San Francisco for a haul.
A king's ransom, really.
Second, third, fourth pick this year, and then a 5th in the next draft after that. It's just, that was too much. You knew Bean wasn't going to pay that. Now there's rumors that we might go after Cam Akers before November 1st. I feel like Singletary, after watching the games back, he is solid. We need to get Cook in there more. I'm not sure what they're doing with Moss, but I feel like we're good. And we're not great at running, but we're good.
I'm happy
and that's
with
really all we
Singletary.
need.
Yeah.
I am too. I am happy with them.
And you know what? Yeah, would a supreme talent, a healthy CMC help us, go over the edge?
Yes, but not for that.
Yeah, Bean's smart. Bean doesn't want, especially, it would be one thing if we sucked at drafting. But Bean doesn't suck at drafting.
No. I mean...
Yeah, living in the moment, a lot of Bills fans, not all Bills fans, but I know there are some that are pissed. They're like, why didn't we just go for it? Just like Von Miller was the one piece we needed. Put all your cards on the table for this year, because if you don't win, then what does it matter? And I can understand that argument, but yeah, don't give up your assets, because draft capital is huge, and we're going to be losing some potential starters next year, depending on what kind of wizardry Brandon Bean does with the cap.
Yeah.
And he needs those picks, and the fact is if he didn't hit on almost all of them, then maybe we just be like, screw it. But
so I have a question for you guys. November 1st is a trade deadline. If you think that we're missing something that we can afford based on what the salary cap is and where we are at with it right now, what move do you think we should make before that deadline? Last thing I want to talk about, we've got 2 cards here. This one I just picked up. Look at that. That is a Josh Allen Prism rookie card autographed with the PSA certificate. So I was excited to get that for a heck of a deal.
Beautiful card.
And you, my friend,
we got ourselves a 2019 Panini Spectra Football, number 25 of 50.
And that one I got from Australia. Nice sparkly one.
Put another shrimp on the bobby.
9.5.
A number there, yeah.
As you may or may not know, we showcase 2 different cards every week. So these are the ones for this episode.
And then speaking of Josh Allen real quick, since we just showed his cards, I think it would be a crime if we didn't really quick allude to another famous saying that came from the broadcast against the Chiefs. It was called the keep and the leap.
Yep. Nance.
It was Nance. Jim
It
Nance
was perfect.
said it.
He's like, Josh Allen with the keep and the leap. He jumps over Reed.
Yep.
It was just unbelievable.
So once again, Josh Allen, he posterizes a grown-ass man that's making good money and having to support a family on that other side. Just
so many
leaps
things.
over him.
So many deja vus.
Yeah, and the fact is again, Allen has so much awareness that goes kind of untold at times, unless he interviews and he kind of speaks like kind of how he broke down the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like unless he does that or like has an interview with someone and they go in depth, you don't know what he's thinking. But there's like these little details on any given play. And for that run, he moves out to the right, starts going towards on the sideline, and he did just enough of like some juking and even like adjusting his speed. He kind of slowed down and then sped back up. And then he's looking at the defender, and he's just got a sense where he's like, because if the defender guessed right, he could flip him out and
Blow out his knee,
midair.
something. Oh, by the way, when he landed and he has a huge bruise along the side of his butt.
Yep.
And he stared at the camera.
Just
this one
nonchalantly.
NFL camera had him just kind of like.
Yeah.
And then the Bills used it during the bye week. They're like, oh, sitting on the couch watching, the other teams 7 hours of football in the bye week or 11 hours.
It's so funny how he when he's doing runs like that and he'll get hit out of bounds because he got pushed once because they're pissed they didn't make the play. They have to see their teammate get jumped over like he's a little child, and so then I forgot who it was, just shoves him out of bounds, and he just like nonchalantly flicks the ball too.
He does it every time when he runs the ball.
Flicks it. And then he's just laying there. It's beautiful. The dude is a walking meme gif. He's got BDE. I like to say he majors in BDE and minors in throwing piss missiles all over the field, man.
For those of you that don't know what BDE is, you can look it up, but it's Big D energy.
That's right.
If you want the real word. I'm just elated that the Bills are on top. They're Super Bowl favorites for a reason. I feel like I've got some Philadelphia friends. And they're like, it looks like we're on a crash course to see each other in the Super Bowl. I'm like, look, we got to get by each week. We can't look ahead. That's why Alan's like, I don't even know who we're playing next week. And he means that. He's got fire in his eyes and ice in his heart, ice in his veins.
What do they call him? The Winter Soldier?
I don't know.
I don't know. I think that's been one of the. There's so many names getting thrown around, but he's certified stud. Him and Mahomes. I hope we get to. For football's sake, I hope that we get to continue to watch them play every year for the next decade. What a beautiful thing.
I think it will happen. It is for sure the new Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, because Brady and Rodgers right now look washed up. So I'm glad that we have the young guy.
We'll see. We'll see. They're so far not so good for those guys. Hey, Bills Mafia, to the ones that got to travel to Arrowhead. Thank you for supporting. I hope you had plenty of Labatt's. I hope you slammed through some tables responsibly, and I hope you took some hydration breaks. Thanks for repping Bills Mafia. I'm sure it was a blast. You probably had an awesome after party getting to be in enemy territory and watch an epic win like that. So shout out to the all Bills Mafia. Man, let's keep this magical year rolling.
That's it for this episode of the House at Allenville. I'm Scott Kinmartin, and on behalf of Greg Vollmer, we want to say,
let's go
Buffalo!
Buffalo! Woo! All right. Phone's ringing. Man, it's cold.
Sorry.
No, it's good.
Hello. Hello.
To receive a complimentary vacation.
Oh, that's great. You.
We just wanted to let you know about your car's extended warranty. I'm channeling, Scott, my inner Steve Tasker. We're smoking some celebratory cigars.
You know, I've never smoked a cigarette, but I'll smoke a stogie after a win.
We're still smoking that Chiefs pack, even though we're getting ready. we're getting ready to go on to a new week, but this is going to be all about the recap with the Chiefs, and we're still smoking that pack. And as Steve Tasker would say, hey, Chiefs, we may see you in January, but bundle up, it might be a little chilly. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
To a huge win.
Huge.
Yeah. Oh, and I've got your pump at my house.
Oh, the one in your nightstand. It's because we need air.
Why do you not fill it up before you fill?
We usually do, but I borrowed his air pump and it's at my house.
Okay, so
Is it autographed by
by real players and coaches, yes.
Mm-hmm. This jersey's big. All right. Alrighty. I gotta rep our boy Steve Tasker well, man.
Dang Man, that looks like it's burning your hand. Yeah, whatever. Just keep it.
It's gonna get a little smoky in here.
Ah!
Is mine still pretty good?
Yeah,
Is it still lit?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This one?
Yep. All right, let's roll.
3, 2, 1. Oh.
3, 2, 1.
There's enough here, so it could be done every week. If they win every week. Oh, you did it!